Okay, it's June 9th at 10 a.m. We're here for the Keystone Central School Board Policy Meeting. First thing we have to discuss is under B, discussion policy 309, assignment and transfer. I think we pretty much have been through this one. There's no recommended changes on it. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Okay, well, you're right, it's good, it's good. I did look at some other school districts and I'm gonna hand out a copy from Lower Dolphin. Here we go. And I did look at quite a few school districts, not that this is a big issue, okay? But I did circle, highlighted, what they have in their policy that we don't have. And whether or not, it's not really critical. But they do have it in there. And then on the very second page, the very end, this was found more than not, where the very last word, in our policy, it says superintendent, but other policies that I looked at, they say board. So, be that as it may, if you just want to take a look-see, and the other thing we're trying to do, when time allows, is to put the ARs on board docs.
We're
And-
working on, that's in progress. We're working on that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So I just wanted to keep that up on the focus, is that there are ARs to this. So,
Is this kind of micromanaging the hiring process? do you
Yeah,
think?
this is all covered in our hiring process and it's also covered by our
Okay.
collective bargaining agreement.
yep, that's why I
So-
just said it's not critical. I just want to let you know that this was in policies that I was looking at.
Okay.
And I'm not
Okay.
saying it's critical, I just want to make you aware of it. And then on the second page, that last sentence,
Yeah,
some school districts have superintendents, some have board, so I'm just bringing it to your attention.
hang on.
Shall not prevent the reassignment of an employee during the school year for good cause.
Is that something you want under your belt? Or is,
It's kind of my job to make sure that,
well, I'm just
people are
saying, other
assigned
school
properly.
districts have the board, it's just,
Mhm. and by and large, that sentence doesn't carry a lot of weight and
Mm.
it depends on also how you parse the sentence. You know, are they saying that good cause is being determined by the board? Are they saying that reassignment is determined by the board? I don't want reassignment. I want to be able to
move,
put people where they need to be based on their qualifications and the need
of
of the
course,
district
yeah,
without having to wait for a monthly cycle.
sure. Okay, I just wanted to bring that to your attention, then they do have really good ARs. So I don't know if
Yeah.
you,
All right.
if you want to just take a look, see some point, your team,
Mhm.
I just wanted to bring that to your attention, so that wasn't a critical one. Just,
All right.
does that sound
so-
good to you, Mr. Chair?
Yeah. We can move that on to first read.
Well, we didn't change.
There's no change. So we
We
don't
didn't
have to-
there's no
change it, it's
changes.
just, I wanna just bring some,
It's
things
just
that I
gonna
found
have
in
to
other
show
school
that it was
districts.
reviewed in
mhm.
We,
June of 25.
okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's what I meant
So
by.
that's the. Chris, would you say that again, please? Just so we,
Under the public content, we need to change that. This most recently reviewed this policy of August 24 needs changed to June of 25.
if it goes to the board for review.
Yeah,
Yeah, we don't, you're right, we don't, he's absolutely correct, the board doesn't have to, we were just discussing.
okay.
It won't,
Just
no,
wanted to make sure.
no recommendations,
Okay.
it's just, you know, the ARs are really the,
Okay, next one, number 2, policy 331, job related expenses. There's nothing on that one to review. No recommendations at this time with that either.
okay, well, I did check out other school districts, and I'm gonna share this. I looked at 6 different school districts, and I thought Gettysburg had,
Okay,
Mhm.
keep in mind, and I mean, we'll look at everything,
Uh-huh.
but keep in mind that a lot of other school districts don't have the same rural area attributions that we have, so we're not gonna be able to match with those bigger city schools.
Oh, no, absolutely, but I just
Okay.
wanted to give you an opportunity just to see what other school districts are doing. Like I said, these aren't critical, okay? Not critical. It's just that when I saw what some of them were doing, I just found it interesting and I just wanted to share.
Okay,
So
oh, go ahead.
all the things that are in here are covered by our process, like how we actually do reimbursement.
Mhm.
We do all these things. So our internal procedures, we have adequate documentation of expenses.
Right,
We require reports and expense forms to be submitted. And then report all reimbursed expenses for travel shows up in the bills for payment.
right. And I just wanted to, okay.
oh, go ahead.
Oh, okay, so on the very last sentence, now we don't have this in our policy, and I do like the last sentence that they have in theirs. And I can explain why, if you'd like to, if you'd like me to. It'd be so much easier if it was all just in one spreadsheet or however administration wanted to do it, instead of us having to go through all the bills that were paid. Because
You're
This is-
creating extra work for information that you already have.
I know, but this is where I'm going, just please, I appreciate that. To see, like maybe just for a year, to see if there's anything that should be evaluated as far as redundancies, or maybe we do need a vehicle, or I don't know what the answer is, but if we just had maybe a year of that and to see, because I do know we spend a lot on mileage, and it's just something to consider. Not that I want extra work for administration, but I do see how that would be of value if we wanted to try to see if our mileage could be reduced, and if so, how?
We're already taking steps to do that. You'll see a significant drop in the mileage from the folks here in the administration wing because of
Yeah,
some moves that we're making, and we are doing an evaluation of that.
Great.
Because we're trying to drop costs. I don't think it's something that would be very meaningful for the board to take up, because we would have to do a lot of explaining for you to understand why someone goes to this place, that place, or the other place.
Oh, yeah, no,
And-
we don't
and
want that.
kind of- And so I've taken the mileage costs to heart, and we're already making changes to reduce those costs. But we're looking at kind of the longer term, just like you're saying, we're taking it over a period of time so we can have a better idea of if the shift we're making has a savings long-term and a net savings versus just,
I would think it'd be cheaper to lease a vehicle
Well, we don't know.
than
so the
all the
lease,
mileage, cause
the-
I added up all the mileage and
Yeah.
then I looked at our equipment leases. And there's a significant reduction there.
potentially.
That's
Right,
right.
and so it depends, so if you're talking about all of the mileage in one vehicle, for sure. But the problem is, for instance, today I was going to go to Liberty Curtain to see some of the demolition that's going on. But the vehicle that is a leased vehicle is being used by somebody else that's doing work elsewhere. So then if I go, it's a mileage charge instead of being, so if we were to get a leased vehicle for every person, then we would eliminate the need for mileage, but then
Right, no,
completely
you
blow the
can't
budget
have
the other
one for
direction.
every person.
And I'm being a little hyperbolic there. Even if we were to have two, that cost would be, they're between $700 and $800 a month.
Right,
So you're talking like $1,600. Do we spend $1,600 per month, every month of the year? No, on mileage for just here. And so
I
that's,
think we
and
spend a
that's,
lot more than that.
well, that's why we're doing the analysis to look at every person and where they're stationed and where they are. So it depends on, you have to take all of the mileage costs and look at the folks in this hallway that charge mileage, me, Randy, Jeremy,
And the others.
and I'm trying, there's not many
Yeah.
people in this hallway, right? So if we have a leased vehicle that the principals use, then having it here isn't very efficient.
Right,
So we're trying to take all of that into account and look at again, what's the net cost of the lease versus paying mileage?
Well, that's wonderful. That's why I wanted to bring this up, because that's what the school district is doing. So they see the trends.
Yep.
And like, you know, when we leave, you leave, how do we make sure that trend and that data is continuing? And that's why they may have put it in their policy. I don't know, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Um, what was the other one?
One question I
Sure.
have it says here about the submission and approval of the required reports.
Mhm.
What were the changes that were made in that mess with me getting a check when I shouldn't have? That can keep that from happening, and where are they?
So we have two different forms. We have a request for, payment or for
Ahead of time.
ahead of time. And then
Right.
there's I've done the thing, you know, gone to it on the trip, whatever. And so that's different for the two, there's a before and after form.
Right.
So we put that in place. We reviewed the process. It was everybody in the business office, made it crystal clear before anybody spends anything, they have to have prior approval. After they've spent something, they need to have another approval that where the documentation for the trip has is captured.
So we're not gonna ever go through that stuff where like I
Right.
gotta check again.
Right.
Okay, is that written in policies anywhere? Or?
It's in our internal processes. So,
Okay.
yeah. And
All
it's,
right,
Okay.
Yeah.
May I add something that, Chair?
yeah,
Okay, thank you. That's another reason why I brought this one to your attention, to see if you wanted any of those ideas or not. But this is the other critical thing, not critical. This is something of interest you may find. It might
Mhm.
save you some time, it may not, I don't know, but I just wanted to share. When I was looking at Lower Dauphin School District,
Mhm.
they have 3 really good ARs, and I just wanted to share that with you. It's not on that sheet, but it's Lower Dauphin School District. I just want to let you know that. So if it helps, great, and if it's just added noise, sorry.
Okay, I'll take a look.
all right. Is that it for that one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the next one, nobody knows anything about but you, policy 333, professional development.
Yeah. And I appreciate all your time, just so we're, okay. For some reason, PSBA, after we went through all of this, then they sent out a new edition. That's like Murphy's Law. Anyways, let me just,
Yeah, keep on track.
yep, let me just get out. So now our draft is similar but different than what we adopted or reviewed, excuse me, reviewed October 9th. So I'm not saying we're starting from scratch, but it's new.
Well, we went
What's
over
new?
this in October of 24.
The 333 from PSBA and drafts. It's not a total change, but there are some changes.
Okay,
I mean, it's just Murphy's Law, okay? So,
so the last time this was updated by PSBA was 2019. That's the PSBA revision that's in drafts is from 2019.
okay, so if you want some time to look this one over, and we could just talk about it next month. Because there are some things here. And I wrote a whole bunch of notes, and I hate to just dump on everyone right now. They have new links compared to what we have now, and I don't know why. Like you said, it says 2019. I have no idea why it has additional links, and those links then bring in more text to the newer edition. So if you want a month to take a look-see at this and have your administration look at it, and then we can come back to it. Or if you'd rather go in blind right now, probably have way too much information, but I will be as
It
short.
was originally adopted in 2018. Yeah, I'd like the opportunity to look at it and see what the
Yeah.
difference between
Yeah.
the 2018 and the 2019 versions are.
Great. Okay,
Yeah, I agree. So let's table that.
okay,
And if you want to send us an email, we can both look at this
well,
and compare. But if you have some certain specifics,
sure, I'd be more than
why
happy
don't
to.
you email them to us
Yeah, because it's
so
pretty,
that we can look at it?
I would be more than happy to. It's just Murphy's Law.
Okay,
So that one will table and I'll send emails.
all right. So number 4, policy 626, federal fiscal compliance. There's not any recommended changes. There, we actually revised the policy in February of 25.
Mm-hmm.
Why did that come back up to
Oh.
go over?
Okay, let me get back to
Was
my,
there something outstanding on that?
Not from my side.
Why did that, well, how come we're going over that again?
I didn't ask for this one, but I will say this. There are so many attachments. I don't know, are these attachments to your ARs that you use, or are these attachments, I mean, some of our,
This is all part of the federal programs.
mhm.
Right.
It's all the stuff that we're required to do by the feds for,
Yeah,
so it's
crazy.
just, this is what our federal monitoring, our federal programs, Justin and Megan spend most of the year chasing down, is making sure we have all of these things in place. So I don't recommend any changes. They both looked at what we have
Yeah,
and
I-
it's in compliance and it's up to date as far as we
That's
know.
why I
So
did, that's why I was wondering why it even is on here,
I don't know.
I didn't
since
ask.
we did it.
Christine understood that somebody asked her to put it on there.
Okay,
Huh.
I don't know who did, but
Well, thank you very
No
much,
big
but yeah,
deal.
it's, if anything, it's good for the public to know what public school districts need to do.
all right, let's go to section C, PSBA informal. This one, we've kind of beat this to death. The last time we were on this, you were going to get some advisement from Mr. Lindsay.
And he didn't really have anything to say about, I mean, it's a form, in terms of there's a comment about there being no conflict of interest, right?
Right.
So that was kind of the main part of the question. And then, he didn't have any specific recommendations for any changes to the way this, board operating guideline is written.
Okay, on the very last bullet, I see some stuff in bold. Is that stuff we're changing? Or is that just updating?
That's just updating.
Okay. In the first sentence, it says, I am not engaged in a business transaction with the district. And it says, comma, am not employed. Should that say, I also am not employed, or doesn't it matter?
It doesn't matter.
That would, yeah,
Doesn't
Okay,
change the meaning.
all right. Yes,
okay. If we could go to page 1, please. I'm not this is my recommendation for your consideration. I'm not sure why an application for a school board would go to a superintendent. In the past, it was always the school board secretary.
Yeah, we went over this last time
Yeah.
because the school board secretary works in the superintendent's office.
Right, but I still find it a conflict.
And our legal counsel has said that there's no conflict of interest there.
yeah, we got that letter on that.
I know, but I understand that, but I still would like it to be the school board secretary and not the superintendent.
It's
And-
not the superintendent, it's the superintendent's office. It doesn't say it's directed to me. It
Right.
comes to my office where the school board secretary works.
I just would
Yeah,
like,
it does say superintendent's office.
yes, but what's the big deal about just changing it to the school board secretary?
All board mail, every scrap of mail that comes into the district that should go to the board, go to the superintendent's office because it comes to the school district
Christine's
somewhere.
wanted the same.
Okay. All right, I just want it noted that I prefer it to go I don't believe a superintendent should have any involvement with school board applications or appointments. Okay, so the next
Okay.
one, I'm not sure why this is in there, in the bold. All information on this form, including attachments, becomes public information when submitted.
Yes.
I can't find any legislation that cooperates with that. I can't, and it may be out there, but I can't find it.
I
Um,
was under the thought of this that
These are applications, these aren't,
yes, but since the school board positions are publicly elected, if we have somebody that is going to say if we have a school board member missing and they fill out the application, become a school board member, I can see where it would need to be public info at that point in time,
their name.
because they have we have a right for everybody in the public to know
Mhm.
who wants to do this, who doesn't, who's putting in for it, who we pick, because it's a publicly elected position. And that's the big thing, the word elected. So when we sign up to come to school board or whatever, there is no privacy no more. The John Q. public gets to know who we are, what we want.
You're
According to
absolutely
the
correct.
Ethics Act, you have to, you also have to disclose this on a statement of financial interest, but your name, address, and your public position, occupation or profession, your employment, your sources of income, all that stuff is public knowledge
Right.
through the SFI.
But this is the part that I'm concerned about. When they fill this out, their email address and their personal phone number,
Yeah, ours is out there.
our personal email.
Yeah,
We have our school email, but not our personal email. I've never put personal email on any
it's on the
forms.
Ethics Act. It's on the paper we fill out. for
Well, I've
ethics.
used the Keystone Central School District email address. I'm just
But-
sharing
but
that.
Before you were a board member,
You had to put your
you
own,
had to put your own on there.
yeah,
And so this is before someone's a board member, they're filling out an application.
Okay, well, maybe that's. Okay, maybe that's different because I was originally appointed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's.
all
why.
right, well, as long as folks are, as long as it's.
That's why it's in there in bold. They're gonna know when they're filling out the application,
Yeah.
their stuff is
Okay,
gonna go.
okay, I just wanted to make.
I can understand that.
Sure,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And then on page 2, I was wondering if you just want to add this. When it says school, college, diplomas, degrees, a lot of folks just get certificates. I know that's really, but I just feel that if someone has a certificate, a lot of people when they're filling out a form, if they don't see a very specific word, I don't know, it's up to, I just think.
They can just make a copy of it and provide it with it.
All right, you don't
That's
care,
all.
diplomas, degrees, or certificates, no certificates, that's fine? Okay, and then, I'd also like to see this, added to this form, I'm not sure why it's not on this form. 3 references. And if the wording could be similar to what HR uses,
But that's not required by, you don't have to have any references to become a board member. It's not part of SFA. So that is something that we look for when we're hiring someone, but it's not a requirement from the state in
Right.
order to become a board member. And this form follows the requirements by the state, follows the SFA. Adding that on there is, I guess it's to your discretion, but it's not a requirement by the state to have that information in order for the board to make it, for the board to make an appointment.
well, can we consider this?
Actually, when you go to get elected, you have to have X amount of signatures
Yeah.
that refer you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
But this doesn't, but this is up to the board to do due diligence and make sure everything's right.
Well, can we consider this? Have it worded so it's not a requirement. Please consider offering 3 current references and contact information and leave it up to the applicant. The reason why I'm saying this is because it would be helpful to the board if they really want to learn about a candidate, if they have no idea who they are. A lot of times people just go to social media to learn about somebody, okay? And sometimes the information is correct and sometimes it's not. Me personally, if I want to learn about a candidate, I prefer to talk to somebody or reach out to somebody that actually knows the person versus going on social media, which might actually corrupt my opinion of the person. So that's basically the viewpoint and just something to consider. And it wouldn't be a requirement. They could just choose to or not.
Well, I don't think we need to add it on there. It does say, why are you interested in serving? And if it came to the point, they could say, because such and such feels I'd be a good person, something like that.
Okay, all right.
I don't think for that part of it, it really needs to be personal references yet.
When would it be personal references?
Well, that's our due diligence to check somebody out on their own.
Okay. I will just share a quick story if you don't mind. There was a time when a new school board came on and another board member Googled this school board member because they didn't know anything about this individual.
Right.
And they came and they shared some information. And some of it was not true, but they found it on social media.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to make you aware of that, that's
Well,
why
I know of instances of that happening also.
okay, I was just adding
Right.
that in there to see if that might help in any way to alleviate people just jumping.
I don't think
Okay,
it's gonna alleviate anything because as you do well know, there's people that believe what they want to believe and whatever. And you're
Okay.
not gonna change people's minds.
all right. I hear you. Okay, thank you.
All right. Anything else from anybody?
For me.
All right, with that,
Oh,
go ahead.
okay, in policies under drafts, we have a whole bunch, not a whole bunch, but we have some new ones.
I saw that.
Okay, so, what if we did this? I don't wanna put anyone on the spot. What if we did this? What if you consider, we just give ourselves a week or two, look these over and see which ones you may find that might be more important than others or not?
I think all the ones that are in there on drafts are ones that we were gonna talk about sooner or later. And they just got set off to the side.
So, and some of them were like 103 and 104. We've already taken care of those with the changes.
Mhm.
So some of these and the concussion management we've taken care of already.
How come they're still in there?
It may be because we're waiting for PSBA. So
Clean it
after,
up.
so PSBA has to do their cleanup. I'll have to
Right.
talk to Christina about that and see why.
Yeah, cause a lot of them I saw in there, we've already done it over and over and over.
Well, the concussion one says 2016.
And it may
So-
be just old stuff that's sitting in draft because the district chose not to do anything with it or whatever, just never got pulled out of draft. I don't know what the criteria is for something to go into or out of draft. So I'll
Okay,
have to check with Christine when she gets back on that.
That'd be great. And then, that would be very helpful to decide whether or not we have policies that are actually in drafts or not, and then we can look at those.
sure.
Okay. Well, it's not a priority, just when there's time before.
Okay, now I'm looking up here for July. We had agreed to move the July meeting till the 7th. at 10 a.m. So keep that in mind.
July 7th, 10
Do
a.m.
we need to have that meeting? Just as,
I think that's gonna kind of depend upon if PSBA kicks anything up in the meantime.
Well, there's,
so,
oh.
I'm sorry, I do have a conflict then. I have a conference in DC that week.
can someone step in for you? I mean, these aren't
Sure,
critical.
if it's a necessary thing and you feel like we have to have a meeting, sure.
Let's see if anything comes down from PSBA, just so we don't get boondoggled like last year.
Okay,
And you can let us know if nothing comes down, we'll just say, oh, we're gonna skip it.
okay. sounds
And
good.
if there's 4 or 5 things that come along that need addressed, then we'll do it. And maybe you can have Randy or somebody step in.
Sounds good.
That would be lovely, because yeah, once they decide what should actually be in drafts, and does PSBA have new drafts,
Right.
that will be,
That
yeah.
way we can stay on top of it instead of getting bulldog.
Mhm.
And I don't know if we'll, because I don't know enough about how things get into or out of drafts, I don't know if that will be cleaned up by July.
Yeah, I don't know either.
We can try.
Sure,
Okay.
yeah, but I'm just saying,
We'll
if
keep it
we don't have it
tentative.
cleaned up, it's not because everything needs to be talked about again. It could be
Right.
because we don't have an answer yet.
Mhm.
So we'll keep the July meeting tentative until we know for sure.
That sounds
good.
wonderful.
All right,
Mhm.
okay, then I'm gonna call us adjourned at 10:31.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.